You know we're live.
Well, I'm sure everybody that's watching knows.
Everybody does know that he's freakishly
There's no
boring.
No one watching at the moment. So.
Are you gonna plug the mic in?
Here you
Can you hear me, Carl? Testing. Test. This really sucks because I can't see comments or see if people are on, so I can't like comment if people are on.
Pretend, yeah, Rafi's there.
Hello, Rafi.
Can you hear me, Rafi?
Can you hear me, Rafi?
I'm doing excellent. Still keeping in touch with everyone.
Well, you tell us that every time, so yes, you do. I heard my beautiful, annoyingly horrible voice.
Okay, gotta talk. You're boring right now.
Well, I don't know what's going on because the way you have the camera is horrible. Our cameraman now is garbage.
Start talking.
Oh, well, welcome to today's live, everybody. It is weird just talking to nothing. At least I could look at the screen before, but Carl wanted to do things a little different today. So welcome to the live. We'll give everybody a moment to hop onto our YouTube channel. Woo! YouTube, can't slap the table because I got yelled at by Carl. And it's real hard because I like to tap the table. I like to tap the table and I can't. So, we have some viewers on. I'm pretty sure now. How many do we have now, Mr. Cameraman? Because I can't see.
7.
12. Well, that's a big jump. So, welcome. We're going to be playing a game backed by popular demand. You know, but first, Carl wanted to come on to talk about something.
Yes.
Yes, and? Dude, really? You looked fun.
Yes, and I do need you to scoot over, otherwise he takes up too much of the screen. Okay, so what I needed to talk about was this paper over here. Good. All right. So real quick, hold on, I gotta check a text. Just kidding. Okay, so what we're gonna talk about real quick.
My
first,
arm is bigger than you.
It kind of is. All right, so what we're going to talk about real quick, it'll also be on the morning routine tomorrow, we'll talk about it a lot, is a new offering at Modesto Junior College,
Why'd you look at me for that?
MJC, because I was blanking on it.
No.
It is a pilot program limited to only a few.
Pilot?
Yeah. No, you're not learning how to fly.
See
That's
what
not
the
it.
confusion could be?
Yeah, it's a new class that they're offering. It is brand new. It's a test, and it's limited to only a few folks. We have a flyer for when it's going to start and everything about it. It is going to deal with culinary arts, which is
You paint with food.
close because you got the art and the painting part, and you got the food because culinary is food.
So you dye mashed potatoes and draw things with it.
No, see, he's getting off topic here.
Culinary arts is cooking, everybody. Cooking.
Yes, cooking. So it's basically a cooking class. It's 8 weeks.
Not as good
and
as Calamity Cooking with Workshop, but
it's with a real professor at the college. They're going to teach real stuff, real world stuff in their kitchen, which is really pretty cool. It's also going to have some essential workforce skills as well, so applying, interviewing, all that kind of stuff, learning how to work within a kitchen. You're also going to get some basic fundamentals while you're there, and your food handler's card. So, lots of cool stuff. This is not a free class and space is limited. It's $500, so it's kind of pricey, so you need to think about it a little bit, but it's really cool and it's brand new. The class is designed to work with anybody with any variety of disabilities. So whether you're in a wheelchair or not in a wheelchair or autism, spina bifida, it doesn't matter. It's designed to work with anybody with differing disabilities. So
On mine, I hear you and hear you and then hear you.
Oh, that's weird. It sounds fine here. Weird. Okay, sorry. We're still figuring out the live stuff, but you can learn more about this by asking Gabrielle or myself. We have these flyers. You can take them home.
Not me. And it's a flyer, not a fryer.
Yeah, not a fryer, like a fryer tuck. It's a flyer. So really cool opportunity. We'd love to share more with it. Space is limited, so if you're interested, you got to let us know soon. All right?
Did you know I'm a doctor?
A doctor of bad jokes?
Doctor of thugonomics.
You mean dorkonomics?
Word to your mother.
My point exactly.
Ah.
All right, what are we doing today?
Yes, and I think we are doing something today, something that you really enjoy.
Oh, dancing?
Yes and no. No, we are not going to. Oh, gosh. Help us. No, we are going to be doing a little role playing again.
This is where we roll around on the ground.
Yes and no, you're wrong.
You keep playing the game wrong.
I am playing it wrong right now because you're not giving me anything.
Okay, so we're going to do yes and again. So not again, we're just going to do it the game again. It's not yes and again. That's too little.
You've got me all confused now. Now I don't.
We're
know
going to play the
rules.
yes and game, but here's how it works again, just as a reminder. I did it, didn't I?
Ah, yes, and you did do it again.
Okay.
Oh, I just did it again.
Yes, stop.
Because we did it twice.
It was funny the first time, or when I did it. Okay, so here's the purpose of the game, yes and, is to center yourself on listening to what the other person had to say.
Huh?
Listening to what the other person had to say.
Speak up. I don't have my horn with me.
Horn?
Yeah, like a horn. Like.
Oh, people don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so the purpose
Ear horn.
is to listen to the other person and build off of what they're saying. If you have a differing opinion, that doesn't work with the yes and. It's believing 100% of what they have to say, regardless of whether you believe it or not, and just building upon it. Try.
What?
That was terrible. Don't start with what. That doesn't, yes and what?
What?
I just said that doesn't make sense.
I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth.
It'd be inappropriate to repeat that. So yes and, here we go.
Yes, and Carl, I know you're really excited for the baseball game. What time did you want to leave for it?
Oh, yes. And not only am I excited for the baseball game, but I'm super excited for the popcorn and the hot dogs. We should leave early.
Yes, and I agree because we want to get there real early because you love watching batting practice because you tell me every year how much you love baseball more than football.
Yes. And if we don't get there on time, I won't be able to watch one guy swinging a simple little stick at a tiny little ball. That's my favorite part. It's such a simple thing. Yeah, and everybody standing around, I can't wait.
Yes, and you were telling me how them swinging the simple stick and the little ball around, and it's the most skilled sport out there. That you have to have a skill to be able to hit the home run. And remember, chicks dig the long ball.
Yes, and not only do they dig the long ball, which is a ball that I'm assuming goes a very long ways, but they really like a guy that has a big jug of popcorn, big popcorn. That's at a baseball game, that's what the ladies love, big popcorn.
Yes, but you got to remember, they don't give you a tub of popcorn. They put the popcorn in a nice batting helmet for you.
Yes, and you get that helmet, and once you've ate all the popcorn out of it, you know what you get to do with it?
Yes, and you get to put it on your head and wear it.
Yeah.
And support your favorite team because we all know how much you love baseball and like to support your local baseball teams.
And scene, because I'm about to throw up in my pants.
In your pants?
In my shoe, that's what I meant to say.
Whoa, he's going to throw up in his pants, ladies
Yeah,
and gentlemen.
but
Yes,
in my
and
pocket.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
But man, Carl really loves baseball. He knew a lot about it. I'm quite impressed.
But see, that's the point. So I do not like baseball, but regardless,
I think he's lying because he was pretty convincing there. You can't act that.
That's the purpose, and the point of the game is to listen to what the other person is saying and build on it, regardless of how you feel. All right, you ready?
Yes, and Carl, take off that hat.
Yes, and
And Alana asked, throw up in your pants?
pocket, pants pocket.
You
Gosh.
never said that, though.
All right, I'm gonna go get some happy contestants.
All right, well, yes, and while he goes and does that, we will look at a few of the comments. Let's see. Heather says, will you be at program on Wednesday? That's number 3. Yes, and you are correct, Mr. Brian. Carl and his hat are friends. Yes, Carl, take off your hat. Let's all stay on topic instead of asking lots of questions. Do people please? Yes, and I agree with Gabrielle on that. So we are getting a few people out here, and we are going to continue with this. We have a few roles playing to do, and we will see who Carl manages to find and bring back. He's taking forever, so I'm having to blab like he does. Because we all know Carl is very poor with his time management and did not have this all planned out. So hope everybody's doing well. And if you have any topics that you might think we might want to try playing this game with, go ahead, put them in the comments. Also, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're doing things through YouTube, which is super important. And we have one of our guests. We're seeing who else that he is going to find. Come have a seat right here, Mr. Ramos. And when the other person shows up, we will find out. Let's see. No, we do not, Christina. It'll be on Wednesday. Oh, well, we have our second guest here. We will give her some space. Brandon, why don't you slide over to where I was sitting?
Yes, and I will.
Oh, he's better than me at that game. Doesn't take much. Have a seat. Have a
I
seat.
can't see myself.
So, you guys now understand the rules to the game, correct?
Yes.
No, could you refresh them for me, please?
Yes, and I will turn the time over to Carl.
Okay, so what you're going to do is Clayton's going to give you a topic, and then Gabrielle, you can start. And Brandon, when she's done speaking, you're going to say yes and build on her conversation. So whatever she said, you're going to agree with yes and add to it. Make sense?
Yes. Got it.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Ooh, good pop. That was a good pop. All right, so here is your guys' scene. You two are out thrift shopping for clothes for dress to impress. You guys are going to be talking about what we should be looking for to buy at the thrift store to dress to impress. And Gabrielle will let you take the lead on that. And action.
All right.
Okay, Brandon, it is so nice being in a thrift store to shop for these things. What do you think would be an appropriate pair of pants for us to look for?
Yes. And I agree that we should buy clothes that can fit us for dress to impress the people here at our day program.
Yes, and?
That's you.
And
Oh, and I go, yes, and?
and
I understand we have to have those appropriate clothes, but do you think a pair of shorts, we should go to the shorts section?
yes, and I don't think we should buy shorts in the short section because that's definitely not really an appropriate way to wear our clothes on Dress to Impress Day.
Yes, and you are correct. So would you like to move over to the dress pants section with me?
Yes, and I will do that for you.
Yes, and do you believe we need to have button-up shirts or t-shirts, do you think, for our dress with our pants?
I believe we should have shirts that will have buttons on it, so we can wear them on Dress to Impress Day.
Yes, and I know we should, but I really like a really good comfy pair of sweatpants.
Sweatpants, yes, and I agree that we should not be wearing any dress pants on day program days.
Yes, and you are correct. We should be wearing appropriate pants.
Yes, and I agree we should wear appropriate pants that can fit us.
Yes, and I know you like to wear black. Do you think another color would be appropriate?
Yes, and I agree that we should wear blue jeans like these that we have on.
Yes, and I think that is good.
And that is a
C.
woo!
Thank you.
Good
Thank
job.
You for doing this.
All right,
Yes,
thank
and
you.
I think you guys did a very good job.
All right, thank you.
Yes, and we are waiting on one more person to come in. We do have one person in
Let me go
here.
get them for you.
So we will stay here.
All right. Or let me
I
go
get-
get
Yes, and
get the contestant for you right now.
the Carl's taking care of that. Yes, and I am back. Sorry, once again, for this. The glare that we were out of powdery stuff to take the glare off my head.
You didn't hit the store, huh?
No, because Carl just wears a hat to fix his, which is not dressed to impress, would you say?
Yes and no. But for here, no.
Yes, and I agree with you 100% because he probably should never have it on.
Yes, he should never wear it inside when we're trying to ask everybody else not to wear one.
Yes, and I agree with that 100%. Oh, hey, Carl. Yes, and Carl's here again with his hat.
Yes, and why are you guys still in your seats?
Because we're waiting for you because, yes, and we know you have poor time management and it took you forever to find somebody and even though there's lots of
Yes,
people.
and we needed to fill time. They didn't just want to look at a brick wall.
Yes, and well, I'm back, so let's move on.
Yes, and we do need you to purchase the powder for my head so there's no glare.
Yes.
Because,
and-
yes, and I cannot wear a hat in the building.
Yes, and then
and
I would
so
have
just stick
nothing
to
to
that.
hit him with.
All right, Gabriel's gonna stay put, and come on in.
Oh, yes, and sucker.
Yes, and I will move over to one more seat.
All right. Comfortable with the rules of the game. All right. Ready? Clayton's gonna give you the topic.
Oh, so you're the victim for multiple things today, I guess, huh? All right, let's see.
Oh man, it's gonna get dicey here now. Look at them, they're conspiring with each other, right? Time's a ticking, right?
All right,
Tick, tick,
yes,
tick.
and we are ready. We have put our half a brain together, so we have
3/4.
No, we just have a half. The two
Oh,
of us.
okay.
So we each have a quarter.
Oh,
But his grew a little bit, talking about how much he loved baseball earlier.
oh, yes. It's so enlightening.
It is. So, the weather sucks, and we need to catch the bus to get to program or work. So you guys are going to discuss what you should do, how you should plan. Yes, and action!
All right, so how do you want to handle the fact that it's raining cats and dogs out there, and we have to get to that bus before it leaves off, and we don't get to go to Kentucky?
Yes, and I totally agree with you. I believe perhaps maybe we should gather an umbrella first.
That is a good idea. Let's get ourselves an umbrella and make sure. Yes, and we should also maybe get a raincoat because, well, it's raining. What do you think we're supposed to be doing?
Yes, and if we're gonna make the whole ensemble together, we need some wellies as well.
Yes, and most of all, we might need some boots because chances are we're going to be walking through some thick mud like it's Vietnam or something.
Yes, and you will wear boots and I'll wear wellies.
Yes, and what's that?
Yes, and wellies are rain boots or water boots. That's what they called them when I was little, because I'm older.
Okay then. That is certainly something. Yes, and most of all, we should probably make sure that we have everything we need for when we are ready to get on the bus, and we should watch our step so that way we don't trip on our way to Kentucky.
Yes, and I hope that you have taken your watch and your phone and plugged them all in so they're charged up so we don't lose time and we know what time it is.
Yes, and most of all, you should make sure that you have done that because sometimes I am very forgetful.
Oh, yes, and you are definitely correct on that one. I will make sure of it, and I will make sure we have our bus tickets.
Yes, and we should make sure that they are 100% fully non-expired.
Yes, and if they were expired, we'd look like baboons trying to get on the bus, right?
Right, indeedy. Yes, and Dee we would look like baboons, chimpanzees, and all the other members of the monkey tribe that are pretty much, we look dumb.
Yes, and
See.
yeah.
Nice job, Austin. Nice job. You can go rejoin your group.
Oh, Alana wants me to say something dorky. Carl. Is that dorky enough? Carl. Please.
That's terrible. That's
Oh,
terrible.
boo.
Gabrielle, you want to go for one more?
Or do you
Yes,
want
and.
Are you sure? Or I can top in? It's your call.
What do you think, folks? I'd love to see him hop in.
Hop, hop, hop. All right. So we enjoy Gabrielle, and we will give you guys your seat.
All right, girl power.
Yay!
Yeah.
Bald power.
Bald power.
Yo! Yay! They were
I think
Bald
we.
heads unite.
Yeah, it has been told that if we connect baldness, there's a flashing light that is like brighter than the sun.
That must be at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. All right, so you guys understand the rules for this game, correct?
Yes.
All right, yes, and we will get going, and we will do. All right.
There's too much laughing there.
Here we go.
Bald heads unit.
Oh, dang it.
Wow. Yes, and Carl continues to spell poorly. He corrects my grammar. Lana corrected you, unite. All right, so you two besties are going to the movies. And you two are trying to decide between watching Ant-Man and Cocaine Bear. Because those are the only two movies out released that we can find.
Yeah. Ready and action.
So, which movie would you like to see?
Yes, and I looked them both up, and I hear the Cocaine Bear could be a true story.
Yeah, and I hear that it's not appropriate for kids.
Yes, and we're both adults, so perhaps, doesn't make a difference. What's your preference?
I mean, I would rather see Ant-Man the Wasp, Quantumanium, or I can't pronounce the name of that world. The point is, I think we should see that because it has ratings off the wazoo like most Marvel films.
Yes, and I think they have the highest ratings and box office intake this week.
And that is cool because they're making more money enough to make more movies.
Yes, and then hopefully we get to see the next one that comes out when it gets to the theater.
Oh, speaking of which, Steven Yeun just got into the MCU for the Thunderbolts, or whatever they're called.
Yes, and I wish I knew who that was.
He's a good actor. Yes, and he's a good actor.
He was in The Walking Dead.
He got Negan.
Oh, okay.
Whack.
So, yes, and I think that's a great thing. So, what time do you think we should see the movie?
How about on a day when we're not busy?
Yes, and I'm really gonna have to look at my calendar.
Yes, I agree. I will have to look at my calendar as well.
Yes, and not during program hours.
Oh, yes, and not during program hours. How about a big popcorn?
How about with extra butter?
Oh, yes, and I love extra butter because everything is better with butter.
Yeah.
Yes, and nacho cheese.
And nacho cheese
And nacho cheese on popcorn?
to have and to hold with the popcorn.
Yes, and a big drink. I prefer water.
I would like a Sprite.
Yes, and they're both clear soda, water beverages.
Yeah.
Yes, and cherry ices.
And cherry ices.
Ooh, yes, and I do like a cherry icy at the movies.
That's my go-to.
That is a
That's
good
good.
one. Oh yes, and we could have, I'm a little weird, some junior mints in the popcorn.
I'd go with Skittles with that.
Oh, okay, half and half.
Yes, and I go with M&M's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or M&Ms.
I like. Yes, and anything chocolatey probably would be really good too.
Yeah.
Yes, and sing.
And
Sing.
Yay!
Nice job.
Nice.
Very good job. Very good job.
All right, Sophia, you may rejoin your group.
thank you.
And Clayton and Gabrielle will take over the last yes and. What is
Oh
what is the
no.
topic?
It's no fair, he already knows the topic. You
Well,
probably wrote it.
I did write them.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I am back.
Oh.
Woo!
Yes, and I'm
Oh,
looking
sorry, I
small
can't do that. I
again.
can't make this sound noise.
Oh, yes, and you guys have the last and final topic today, which will be two friends speaking about a job that they like at the hot topic. Action.
Yes, and Gabrielle. So Hot Topic's hiring, and they have open interviews, and I'm super excited to go.
Yes, and perhaps I could go with you as a support person.
Yes, and why do you just want to support, or do you want to apply as well?
Yes, I always dreamt of working in there, coordinating all of the t-shirts and things.
Yes, and they do have some of the coolest T-shirts I've ever seen there. Yes, and fortunately they don't carry my size though.
Yes, and maybe they could special order it. Have you ever asked?
Yes and no. Yes, and that's a good idea. I should probably do that and see if they can special order them. You know, because I am a large individual.
Yes, and if you don't ask, just like in an interview, if you don't ask anything, you'll never know.
Yes, and I wonder if they give employees a discount, because I do really like to shop there.
Yes.
Especially with those lip and nose rings.
Yes, and discounts would make things so much more viable for you.
Ooh. And they do have my favorite shade of black nail polish.
Yes, and they have lots of different ones, so maybe you could branch out for a different color.
Ooh,
At
yeah.
a discount, if you got a discount.
Yes, and I do like those discounts. Maybe I could do my fingernails black and my toenails purple.
Yes, and each week you could buy a different color and have the rainbow.
Ooh, yes, and I like that, the variety. Yes, and that would be really fun. Also, I do collect Funko Pops, and they are one of the places that has the biggest selection in all of town.
Oh, yes, and if you work there, you might get the ones before anybody else sees them.
Yes, and true story, one time at an old job I had, I got into the starting lineup baseball figures before anybody got a very rare Chipper Jones.
Oh, yes, and it was Pez in our house, and the Pez shipper came, and we got it because the husband worked at the store.
Yes, and that is a perk of working there. If they allow you to do it, you can get the special rare things that come in the boxes.
Yes, and even if you don't want to purchase it, you will be knowledgeable about all the other stuff that you can talk to people about.
Yes, and I think they should have a policy there, though, that people cannot wear hats in there.
Yes, and perhaps if they want to say it's because it's part of their dress, they've learned that it's not.
Yes, and, because I do know they have a different type of dress code than we have. Like, we have our polo shirts and stuff here, Yes, they have T-shirts, jeans, and things, so it's an appropriate uniform for them, which is super important. I need to make sure I ask what is required, how to dress when I get hired there.
Yes, and you should also have to ask them about anything else of personal hygiene that you might not be able to wear.
Or maybe there you can, but in other places you can't. Yes, and
Yes,
yes, and
and.
now you just got to ask.
And have to ask because you don't want to show up and be wearing, a bullhorn or something.
Yes, and I've always wanted to look like Xerxes from 300, so maybe I could get away with that, the earring to the eyebrow to the nose.
Yes, and that would be a really good point. Why you see what you can and cannot wear somewhere might make a difference of where you want to apply.
Just like here. Yes,
Yes,
and
and.
we cannot wear hats here.
Yes, and scene, everybody. Whoa, this has gone way too far. We don't need to talk about this anymore. I think you guys are done. You did a great job. It's time to go now.
Yes, and
Bye.
I think you've got we hit a nerve.
Yes, and we learned that he really likes
Yes,
baseball.
and maybe not.
Oh, you're smashing
time
my
to go.
finger?
You don't have fingers.
Yes, and we are not good on time management.
Yes, and but we can go over. We've never said it stops exactly at 1:30.
Yes, and you are right,
We
because
ta-
we've gone over before.
Yes, and we could technically keep going till 2, talking about hats in the building, baseball,
Yes,
and tacos.
Yes, and I can just cut the line right now.
Yes, and that would be highly rude.
Yes, and it wouldn't be the first time.
Yes, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Toodles
on,
poodles.
on YouTube, not Facebook, YouTube.
Yes.
You spell that YouTube.